Hi guys, so today we're going to be looking at big maths and we are learning how to count along even when there are no lines. So let's get started. When we're looking at a number line, there are a few key things that you should do to help you always be successful. So when we're looking at this number line, the very first thing that you should do is look at the start and end value. You can see that it starts with the 0 and it ends with 50. That means that this total number line adds up to 50. Okay, the value of this, the gap between 0 to 50 is a total of 50. The next thing that you should always do with a number line is work out the total jumps. Okay, so number lines, and this is for any number line. There are a few steps that you should always do to help make sure that you're successful. The first step is to look at the start and end value. So here we see it starts at 0 and it ends at 50. Then from that we work out the total jump from the start and end value. So the jump from 0 to 50 is 50. Now we need to count the intervals. Now remember, the intervals are the little dashes, little lines, in the number line, okay? So we don't count the first one, we count the first interval, second, third, fourth and fifth. So that means that this number line, just like a fraction, has been divided into fifths. Now what we have to do is we need to divide the total number of jumps by the number of intervals. So that means that we know we have a total jump of 50, but we need to divide it by 5. So how many times can you split 50? Now that I know what each of these intervals represent, I need to look at the question mark, where this arrow is pointing. And you're going to have to use a little bit of estimating here. So if I know that this interval here is 10 and this one is 20, I know that the gap between both of them is the value of 10. That's right. Now the arrow, if it had been right in the middle of the line, it would be half of 10. So that would mean 5. So this number here would be 15 because that is halfway between 10 and 20. But the arrow is not right in the middle. It's closest to the 10, but it's not past the 15. So it must be a number either 11, 12, 13, 14 and not 15. What do you think it could be? Let's see. That's right, 13. Now if you had put 12, I would have given you that as well, if you had justified it. 14 would maybe be expected to be a little bit further on, because you need to look at where is exactly halfway between the 10 and the 20. Let's try the next one. Okay, so again, we have to remember to look at the start and the end number. Okay, so remember your start and end value. You must look at that. The next step is to work out the total jump. So let's work out the total jump from 0 to 20. The total jump there is 20. Well done. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to count the number of intervals. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, never count the first line, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our number line has been split into fifths again. So I know I'm going to be using my knowledge of the 5 times table to help me solve the next step. So what do we need to do? You're right, we have to divide the total jumps by the number of intervals. So we know that the total jump from 0 to 20 was 20. So we need to divide 20 by 5. So 5 times what gives you 20? We use our inverse knowledge here to solve. Have a think. Well done. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. Now let's count that up to make sure it adds up. So it would start 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Well done. So now that I've done that, I now need to estimate. Okay, so that means a very smart guess. So if the value of this number is this line, this interval is 16, and my arrow is pointing very, very closely to the 16, it's not halfway between the 12 and the 16, which would be 14, but it's here. What do you think the value might be? 3, 2, 1. 15 is correct. Well done. Now I'd like you to try the rest of the slides on your own using that same strategy. Remember to always look at the start and end value. Always work out the total jump from the start to the end value. Remember to then count the number of intervals, but don't include the first one. And next, divide the total jump from the start and end value by the number of intervals that you have counted to work out what the gaps are between each interval. Good luck!